What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about The Flash, issue number 786, a tie-in to Dark Crisis. And as far as the tie-ins to Dark Crisis go, The Flash has been the only good tie-in stuff to Dark Crisis. I have not really enjoyed the Worlds Without Justice League stuff. I feel like those have been kind of a waste of time. And the Young Justice Dark Crisis one definitely has not been very good. But the Flash stuff has been good. Even taking Dark Crisis out of the equation, and granted, yes, this is a tie into that big event, it still like has the feel of the Flash book. It still is fun. The character interactions are on point for the most part, and it's still an entertaining, joyful kind of read. This one's written by Jeremy Adams, and yeah, so there's a lot of speedsters involved, a lot of characters in this issue. We see members of the Bat Family, Titans, JSA, and they're seeing all these blips around the world of all the stuff that Slade and his army is kind of causing. And they're like, okay, we got all these events around here. Let's kind of, let's break things off into different teams, and let's go ahead and take care of business. And that's when the speedsters show up. And also, given that I've covered Teen Titans and Titans Academy and Robin, I think this is the first time Damian's actually shared, like, the panel pages with members of his former team, although in disappointing fashion, he doesn't really interact with them, except for Wallace for one single line, and I'll kind of get to that in a second. It's one little nitpick in terms of characterization. So yes, so he goes up, he runs into Kid Flash, granted, after the big fall, and that this is like their first time they've actually interacted with each other, post the terrible Teen Titans book, which I have covered on the channel. I'm sure most of you know at this point. He's like, Robin, Kid Flash, and who was this? Baby Flash. This is actually the first time Damian and Irie actually have interacted. And it's kind of funny because they actually were supposed to be on a Young Justice book before the start of the New 52. It was supposed to be something funny, and then they were supposed to be, I guess, like, come friends or kind of something right there. I don't exactly know, but now it feels kind of weird because Damian's kind of aged up and Irie's still kind of like the only kid. Although you wouldn't really know that based on how Damian's kind of drawn in here, but I did like the sass that she gives him all at the same time. It feels like the writing for Damian just is kind of off at this point, given that we just had the Robin book where he kind of like got taller, matured a little bit. You'd think they start showcasing him being a little bit older and stuff. It feels like Jeremy Adams and that didn't really read the Robin book in terms of his characterization in this thing, which is kind of strange considering he's writing the Battle of the Super Sons movie. And yeah, that characterization for Damian works in that degree, but like post Joshua Williamson's Robin book, it doesn't feel right, if that makes sense. It feels a little bit off. It feels like a little bit of like pre-Robin Damian, who's, you know, now Damian's kind of a little bit older, a little bit more mature at this point. It doesn't feel like he'd go up and start sassing little kid and stuff. Yeah, it's like a harmless joke, but it just feels kind of off given what I just, you know, spent a year and a half covering on the channel. So I don't know if it's just me or anyone else feels the same way, but that's just kind of something I noticed. And even here, after he gets kind of saved, it's still kind of like a little bit of that arrogance, like right there, and it just doesn't feel right after the Robin book. If this were pre that, it would make sense, but now at this point, it's just, yeah, it just doesn't feel quite as on point. Yeah, there's still a few harmless jokes, and they do make me laugh, and their interactions are kind of funny, but it's just kind of a minor nitpick. But anyways, if anyone has any thoughts on that, let me know in the comment section down below. But anyways, aside from that, like I said, it's just the Flash family going around with the various remaining heroes in that and trying to stop various threats around the world based on Slade and his Dark Army. And a lot of the strong points of the issue are Jai and Irie just kind of being like the standouts in this issue, being kids amongst everything. Kind of reminded me a bit of like when John was just being like Kid John and Super Sons and all that, being a hero and all that stuff. And it really is genuine, and it adds a fun dynamic to the whole thing, just seeing kids kind of being heroic and stuff. So you got that, all sorts of different characters. They fight whoever. Power Girl kind of teaches them some stuff, and that's always pretty fun and cool. And they face off against Clarion, and he's like all excited about how the Dark Crisis thing is going on and all that other stuff, and they do manage to find a way to kind of stop him, and it is kind of funny and comedic. Then it kind of sets the stage like, hey, continue the story in Dark Crisis, and then they're also talking about the Flash book, continue to do its own storyline and other things going forward. So all things considered, this was a really fun issue. I don't know if this is the last of the Dark Crisis tie-ins for the Flash. I think it might be, And in terms of the Dark Crisis tie-ins, the Flash has been like the only genuinely good one. I think it's pretty funny. I think the interactions are entertaining. I like seeing how the Flash family is a family right here, and they're more super heroic. I like Giant Eye Ray and the way they play off of different things in their interactions. And yes, despite my criticism of the way Damian's kind of written in this little thing with his few pages right there, and that's only because we had the Robin book. If this were during the Super Sons era, I would have been totally on point with it. But like I said, this is after the character was supposedly grew up and matured a little bit, and it just felt a little bit off. It felt like I said, they didn't really read the Robin book, and they probably did, but it just didn't feel like that, if that makes sense. So yeah. All right, well, I think that's all I have to say about this. I think this is worth checking out. I think most people, if you're not reading the Flash, I think it has been pretty solid in the stuff that I've read. I do want to go and read all Flash from like Rebirth onward, because like the little bits I've read in terms of tie-ins, at least what Jeremy Adams is doing, at least in this Dark Crisis stuff, has been pretty entertaining, and I have enjoyed it. So there's a lot of good stuff in here, and I think it's solid stuff. It's the only Dark Crisis tie-in that's actually worth reading. So take it for what it's worth. All right, well, that's all I have to say about this particular issue. Let me know what you thought of it in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit the bell for notifications. That's all I got to say. I think I got one more comic book that I got to get to covering today, and then I should be all set. All right, that's it. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.